Hey guys, what's going on? Jedi270 here from AirsoftRx.com and TX911gear.com. As by my last video, I was talking about how I was going to cover some of the things that we do for maintenance of different rifles. And on the table, you see before you at the top the KWA LM4 with a lot of different mods done to it externally. It is nowhere near finished. I just had to get it changed from what it looked like in the very beginning, and you know, I just had to change it. I just didn't like the looks of it being like a regular M4. But there's a lot of stuff going to be done to it. It's going to be converted to an SBR. It's going to have a lot of the look that John J. Rambo's Magpul edition does. Below it is the WE M4A1 version 4 open bolt. And as you can tell, it's taken down. And then below that is the WG39. This is the C version. You'll notice here a little bit difference in this flash hider, basically because that is a bird cage, and I had to have that in order to make the Halo QD silencer, wherever it is, gotten off to right here, to get it to work. You know, I was looking at a lot of different things when I was out here earlier, and I thought, man, how freaking cool would it be if this could be modded to have this type of lower and bring in the PDW upper? How freaking sexy would that be? So, James, if you're watching this video, we want a SBR from WE. I think that would be awesome. That would mean that there's less that we would have to do as gunners and airmiths, and, I mean, you name it. Now, one thing in particular I want you to take notice of is the G39. I want you to look at this. See how springy that plastic is? I mean, there's really nothing to it, but it is still kind of strong. This one is stripped down. It is completely gutted, y'all. The only thing you have difference up here is this piston-driven spring. Okay, it's supposed to mimic the piston. But yeah, it's a gorgeous little rifle for what it is. And we're going to talk about real quick the areas that you're going to want to maintain, how you're going to want to maintain it, and how often and what you should use to maintain it. Right now I'm trying to find an item I set over here in my pile of crap. And there it is. This is something that everyone has. You can tell this one's warped all to pieces. It's basically useless at this point, right? No, it's not. Your short-barreled rifles, such as your PDWs, your pistols, anything that has a shorter barrel system on it, the G39, you can use this cleaning rod, and what I want to do is I want to chop this one off so I don't have all this excess mess. And these things are a dime a dozen, okay? Every gun gets them, and probably 9 times out of 10 every one of you have like 20 of these things. Just clip that off. It makes a good little pistol cleaning rod. That's a nice thing to have. You want to make sure when you go to cleaning these guns that you use rubber gloves. And why? Well, a lot of these guns, such as the WE, let me get my cleaning rod, I'll use that as my redneck pointer. A lot of these guns, such as this WE right here, and its upper, have a lot of zinc metal components in them, and they're not very rust resistant, which means you're going to have a good deal of thick lubrication in those areas to make sure that you inhibit that rusting. Now, a lot of you will piss some people off. KWA has steel parts in that LM4, right? But they're only painted. They're not rust resistant. This rifle is 2 months old, and as much maintenance as I put into it, it's already showing some rust, and I have to get in there and clean it out. It is your nightmare, gentlemen, is rust. So what do we do to combat this rust? Well, there's a lot of things we can do. If you are going to use a silicone oil, I highly suggest that you use the remote control car differential oil. This is 120,000 weight, very thick viscosity. I don't know if you can tell on camera. Do you see that bubble? I usually apply this with the good old American Q-tip. Da-da-da. And where do I put this? Well, if I'm just going to run silicone oil, I will take it on the outside of my bolt carrier group. I'll wipe it in there real good. Get it wiped, wipe it down nice, get you a little bit more, get it in around this nozzle, around these areas where it slides in and out, in behind and underneath the gas block, down inside it if you have to, down around the front, anywhere you can, and you can get that in there. Also, take your charging handle, as you can tell by the shininess of this one, get it down in there real good, because your gas tube is going to ride up and down that charging handle, so you want to make sure that's in there. Another thing you can use, a lot of guys are using white lithium grease. You know what, I'm on the fence about white lithium grease because I'm not sure what it's doing to O-rings. So if I'm not 100% sure that it's not going to destroy my rifle, you stay away from it. That's the word of the day, words of the day, class. Stay away from it. 4 words, if you're not sure, okay? Now, this is a wonderful product by Liquid Wrench. This is the silicone heavy duty spray. On the back when you're in the store, if you can't read this fine print, go over there and like Health and Beauty and get you a pair of reading glasses, or take this over there with you, put them on and read it. If it says it's rubber protective or rubber friendly, you can use it anywhere on this gun. It's not going to hurt anything. Ever since I was a kid, my daddy told me one thing: use 3-in-1 gun oil. I've used it on everything. Wiping down the outers of the shotguns, I wipe down the outers of my weapons with them. This is a good rust preventative. But you do not want to just go in there squirting this crap willy-nilly, because the action of these rifles down inside here will blow that back up inside your nozzle, and when it does, you got problems, because you're going to tear your O-rings up, and you're going to have to go in there, take your nozzle apart, which it's not a hard thing to do, guys. Taking a nozzle apart, a lot of people out there that's never dealt with gas blowback rifles, they're like, oh no, stay away from it. No. A nozzle is a very easy thing to work on. Once you break the first one down, and you see how elementary it is, it's very easy to work with. You don't have to worry about it. Don't be afraid, okay? Go out to a plumber supply store, a hardware store, get a thing called a plumber's pack. It looks for the world like a belt tackle box, and it is full of different size O-rings. A lot of things what people call O-rings are in like the WE mag. It runs along the back spine inside. That's not really an O-ring. That's a gasket, okay? I've known guys out in the field to take their WE guns apart and put liquid gasket there and never, ever have a frickin' leak again. But I'm telling you, when you have to take that crap off, you gotta work at it to get it off. You don't have to do it very often. It's totally up to you if you want to use it. Me, I don't, until I just can't get O-rings and I need a mag. All these mags, guys, whether it be KWA, King Arms, GMPs, Beta Projects, WEs, Pro Wins, I don't care what it is. Eventually it's going to leak. Okay? A lot of people, I had a guy on today on my channel say, NS2 is about the internals. It doesn't have a damn thing to do with your internals. The only thing NS2 is new structure 2 on your magazine and your gas bucking. It's the gas system. KWA website will say NS2 gas system. Your hammer, your full auto sear or disconnect, your sear, your buffer lock, none of those have a damn thing to do with your gas. Nothing. The NS2 gas system is all in here. Okay, now, it is a great magazine. KWA is a great company. This gun is really a front runner right now in gbbrs. I really like it. Is it going to save airsoft? No. If it could, it would be in the $700 and $800, $1,000 range, like an Inokatsu or a Viper. But it's not going to. It's going to be hard to beat those guns. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, a $450 KJW is one of the best gas blowback rifles out of the box that the good Lord has seen fit to put on the face of this planet. Okay? I've been getting this question over and over. What's the best one of this? What's the best one of that? Once again, guys, it depends on what you are going to do with it. It depends on your skill set. It depends on how much you're willing to get into and learn. And I'm telling you, if you buy a gas blowback rifle, I don't care if it's from any of these makers on this table, you are going to have to work on it eventually. And it is an easy weapon system to learn. WE. RA Tech makes a drop-in steel trigger box. We will be carrying those before too long if I can get them, okay? I haven't made that announcement yet. I have in comments, but Airsoft RX, I just got an email from RA Tech last night with price listings, and we're going over them now, and we'll decide what we're going to carry and what we're not. And that's why I need you guys to let me know what you would like to see, because that's what sells is what you want. The KWA, where you're going to maintain it. You're going to get you a little bit of oil. You can see it's still right here. You're going to get it on your Q-tip. You're going to get down in here on all your springs, your hammer locks, and everything. Now look, I've got a light on this camera. Let me get behind it and see if I can't pick that up. Oh, yeah. See right there? Let me get in here with my redneck pointer. There's your sear. You see what color it is? It's almost a brown, okay? When it came out of the box, it was the same color black as this hammer. That's rust coming in, okay? You get down in here with your Q-tip, you get your hammer, you get your roller bearing, you make sure that your pins and everything are still in there good. You don't need to tap them or change them if you don't JB weld them or solder them. Get down in here and put this oil. Now the reason you don't want to go squirting it is it'll run out your pins right there on your body, it'll run out your grip, out your trigger, and you're going to have a mess, okay? Even with the Q-tip, you can see right here a little discoloration around that pin where that's happening, okay? But, to be honest with you, man, just like butter, because I maintain these rifles. That's the KWA lower. And it's a little bit of rust problems. Now let's talk about the upper, the KWA. I know it's upside down. Just got it twisted on there, but check that out. That is a Mad Bull dual-end silencer given to me by my good friend Mr. Thomas Giles in Yuma, Arizona. Just called me up, or just hit me up on Facebook, said, hey, I know you need that suppressor. I'm going to send you one. Week later, boom, it's in my mailbox. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to hook you up with some engraving. Okay, now let's get down in here. You see that bolt right there? The bolt carrier group. You see how shiny it is? Can you pick up on it right here? This is that thick viscosity differential silicone oil I was talking about. Squirt a little silicone down here in your valve. Work it back and forth. Wipe this sucker down, and you're good to go, man. That's all you got to do on any of these M4 uppers. Okay, WE M4 upper. Okay, here we go. Same thing. You want to wipe that down with your thick differential. You can get that stuff, guys, anywhere. You can order it from Hobbytown USA that does any kind of RC stuff. I'm going to talk to Donald about carrying it. I meant to do it yesterday, but I forgot to. Look down in there. You see that shininess inside there? That's because that thickness of that grease is in there. I call that grease because it's so thick. Same thing on these guns, okay? WE lower. Now we're getting into a little bit of different ground, because the WE is made off of the old AFC engine, and everything is contained. Now this is not been changed yet. This is the zinc metal alloy trigger. Double check all of your roller bearing pins. Make sure they're seated and not coming out. Little 3-in-1 oil. Get down here on this full auto sear disconnect. Get down in there, and it might be able to squeeze a little bit down into your sear, which is all inside. But the one thing about the M4 versus some of the other WE guns is it is a little bit more open, like a traditional M4, but your firing block is enclosed behind the steel plate. Whereas on the Western Arms system, it's full open. And in there is where your bolt catch is. That's where your firing pin is on your firing block. Okay? Same thing. You see right here, see that oil coming through that pin? Alright, these pins aren't as tight. See that? As a real steel M4. So you want to go easy. A little dab will do you. Don't have to overkill it. Now, let's take a look at this bad boy. This is the fire control unit, or the FCU of the WEG39. Your switch is plastic. Your gear bars are plastic when you're doing your selector. Okay, RA Tech makes full steel right here, and it's one thing that I want to look into carrying, and I want you guys to look at down in here. Okay, this is another one that's opened up a little bit. The only thing closed is what? Your bolt stop, okay, and your firing pin. Down in here you got your hammer spring, or not your hammer spring, but your full auto disconnect or your full auto sear. Here's your selector right here, and then on this side underneath is your sear right there. Can you guys see it down there in the bottom? Right behind that hammer. My Q-tip's getting frazzled. Right there, my Q-tip is right on top of it. Okay, get that oil, get down around those springs, oil that up real good. Always check to make sure that your roller bearing is in good shape. This is your mag well cover. You just want to wipe this down inside, make sure there's no debris, because guys, if there's junk in here, it's going to end up in your trigger box. Now, your bolts. I haven't done this one except for right here where it rides. You can see the shininess in this groove. There's your bolt for your G39. This is a very big problem part right here. It's a very easy fix. You punch out that pin, put in a new one, hook up your spring, get a metal one from RA Tech. We're looking at this as well to solve that problem, and we're looking at the steel bolt. Okay, there's your air nozzle, very similar to an M4. There's the loading pin. Okay, right there. Shoot a little bit down in here in your valve, and then make sure you cover the rest of this in that really thick differential oil over there. Now the main body, or your main spring. This is your recoil spring of the G39. You want to get all that heavyweight oil right in here. Make sure that that sucker's lubed good, because that's what's going to make it function like butter. Okay? That's what's going to give you the smoothness that you need, bro. Now we get into the main body and the main housing. This is a very solid barrel nut, and I love this for WE. Plus it's knurled. Here's your outer barrel. Here's your false piston. Okay, which is really cool that they do that. And then all you really need to do up in here, guys, right here, there's your hop-up area. See there? They say don't spray silicone directly into your hop-up. I've never had a problem with silicone on my hop-up, because it's going to get there when I rod the barrel. So, you know, just don't flood it. And then you need to rod your barrel. That's something else you need to do on the other ones that I forgot to tell you all about. You have to rod the barrel. Now, we're at what? 18 minutes and 30 seconds. I've seen other guys make longer videos. You have your inner barrel and your front set for the Pdw. You'll notice that the screws are missing. Why? Because this is going to be a two-tone rifle by tonight. You see, I love how WE paint is. Look at the texture. Can you see that texture? That is just nothing but pure amazing. It looks like a Parkerized piece. The problem is, this weapon's only been in and out of the rack once. Look at this. That I don't like. So, I'm going to put better paint on it. It's going to be two-tone. Flat dark earth on the top and black on the bottom. And then I'm going to leave the furniture black. Plus, here is your outer barrel. Guys, this is a steel outer barrel. A steel Knights Armament type flash hider, which needs to get more paint put on it. And I'm actually going to get one of these outer barrels for the KWA LM4, because it will be easily viewable through the Noveski free float. I just want to make it different, but this will stay the colors it is now. Here is the lowers of the PDW after I have also done the mod. You can see there on the top how that silver, I'm grinding those threads down. I should have done that when I started the mod, but I didn't. And the only reason I am is because it drags the charging handle a little bit. It's already starting to look better. And then I'll repaint that. But down in here, once again, right down in there, you can see the sear. You see the hammer. It's not like this on a Scar, guys. It's all enclosed in a Scar. But you can see all these internals down in here. It makes them easier to work on. But RA Tech sells a drop-in steel box. We pull this box out, put the new box in, slide in the selector switch, and we're done. The Myad grip's going to get shot in full black today. The CTR stock is going to stay in full black. This is the Magpul CTR. This is not the fake one. This is going to stay black in that parkerized finish because I'm going to put Knights Armament correct logos there and team logos there. So that's going to be a whole lot different. Plus, something that I'm getting ready to do is this is going to be disabled. This is going to be locked down full time all the time. Why? Because I don't need it. 2, if I sell it and somebody wants to change it back to its original configuration, all they have to do is take this out, pull this whole system loose and work it, and it'll come off, sand it down right there, and they're good to go, and they can put it right back the way it was. So there you go. Where do you want to lube it? Well, just like where I showed you, everywhere else. Now let's take a look at the PDW's bolt, which is very similar to the bolt on the Scar. Right in here is your gas valve. Shoot some silicone in there. You can put just about anything in. I wouldn't use the Teflon silicone there. I'd use either the heavy duty CRC or the liquid wrench. And then you want to wipe down the outside of this bolt with the differential grease. And then you'll be good to go. Guys, it's very easy to take care of these guns. I was going to take down the XDM. Why not? Let's just do it right now. Okay. Here we go. You see how easy that was? You want to spray some silicone oil right in here inside this valve, your gas valve. You want to make sure you get some of that heavier silicone lube, get it in around your nozzle down here so it doesn't stick open. You want to make sure you put some nice shots of silicone a little heavier right in here on your recoil spring. And then on your frame, you want to get all down in here with, you can get in here with your 3-in-1 oil on a Q-tip. You can use heavy silicone if you want. If you're not, you don't want to use 3-in-1, that's fine. You can see down here I have lubed it already. It's nice and pretty. One thing, when you get this gun, guys, make sure that you lube it. Sometimes they come dry as a mud pie. And then right down in here on these rails, you want to use some heavy silicone differential in there. So, that being said, 23 minutes. Guys, you just need very few things. And to properly maintain these rifles, it's not hard to do. You got to use common sense, use the right lubricants in the right places, have yourself a good precision screwdriver set, a good set of Allen wrenches, both English and metric, or what I call standard and metric. And this right here, that's a valve key. If you're going to have a gas blowback, whether it be a pistol or a rifle, this is the best money you will ever spend, period. Get one, okay? Your magazines, told a guy the other day, WE makes the most easy magazine to work on the planet. I don't care what anybody says. When you take a WE magazine out of this shell, you don't have a valve locker, you don't have a disconnector spring flying out everywhere. You take off the floor plate, you push it out the top, you're going to have to watch out for this piece and this piece. That's it. Come back over here, back out with your valve key, this one, put a little silicone oil, tighten it back down. Open up your back spine, rub some heavy silicone oil on that gasket, tighten it back down. Down in here in your fill valve, back it out, silicone oil it, back it back down. Guys, propane will freeze these O-rings, okay? When you're filling it with propane, do it in short bursts, like just a couple seconds at a time, okay? Green gas is propane with silicone oil in it, and it will freeze your O-rings too. So you want to do the same thing. Leave a little bit of puff of gas in your rifle's magazine when you store it. This keeps pressure against the O-rings so they do not warp or wrinkle and cause leaks. And then once a month or once every 2 months, take these mags apart whether they need them or not, tighten them down, check your O-rings, replace the ones you need to replace. These mags will last you a freaking lifetime, and I don't care who makes it. King Arms, Pro-Win, GMP, you name it, KWA. They'll all last you a lifetime, but you have to take care of it, okay? This has been the Jedi 270. I appreciate you sticking around with me for 25, 26 minutes. I'm sorry it took so long. I wanted to get every gun that I have in spurts so I can cover everything that everybody may own. It's pretty much the same no matter what you do, but just make sure you use the right lubricants in the right places, that you use your head and you think it through. This is the Jedi from AirsoftRx.com and TX911Gear.com. We're here from you from the sale to the graveyard, baby. Come check us out and we'll take care of your needs. Thanks for watching.